your swimmers and grab your sandals. We're heading for the beaches of North Yorkshire. But we'll need this misty weather to clear up a bit first.
You sort yourself out, love. Don't worry about me. The driver here.
Well, if it isn't antique aficionados Margie Cooper and Mark Hill splashing along in a 1980s MGB Roadster.
Are we springing a leak?
Oh, gosh, what a day.
I know, again.
Just think we could be driving along with the roof down and the wind blowing through our hair.
And your scarf fluttering in the breeze.
Fluttering behind me.
Well, there's plenty of time for that yet. These two spiffing antique spotters are on the second leg of their epic road trip from Yorkshire to Edinburgh.
Lady that was with you yesterday.
Yeah?
Last time out, Mark scribbled together a charming little lot of desktop accessories, amongst other things.
I think that's a really cute lot.
But it wasn't quite enough to stop Margie taking the win with her cracking buy of the carriage whip.
Thank you, Harry.
Well done.
So, that makes it 1-0 to Margie.
OK, rub it in, why don't you?
Don't worry, Mark. There's still plenty of time for a comeback. For this leg of the trip, our duo are crawling up the North Yorkshire coast, starting in the charming harbour of Bridlington and finishing in Pickering. So, plenty of time to get the wind in your hair.
It's all down to aircon. Well, no, this blessed aircon drives me nuts.
Why?
You should not find you wake up all peculiar if you've not got fresh.
I wake up peculiar most mornings,
Oh, I feel peculiar.
Well, I hope you aren't feeling too funny today because there's antiques to be found. Any ideas, you two?
Do what I really want.
Yeah.
I want one of those 1920s, 1930s railway posters, you know? They do pop up every now and again, but they always presented this sunny, glamorous side to North Yorkshire.
Quite. Come to Scarborough.
They said.
What is quite good is if you, and you don't really find it very often, is if the dealer's missed it. That's what you're looking for.
Talking about mist, we're misting up.
All right.
Dear, oh dear, you don't remember, do you? Sort yourself.
I can't, my arms aren't long enough.
The first of our little seaside excursions is in Bridlington. A buzzing little harbour town here in the north where the sun has finally decided to pop its head out. It might look quaint, but this is actually the largest lobster port in Europe. Landing 300 tons of lobster every year. Delicious.
Isn't this lovely? So quaint. Little butcher.
Absolutely.
And look, surprise, surprise.
Oh, sure.
After you, my dear.
They each have £200, and there is plenty to splash it on at Georgian Rooms. A beautiful antique centre and tea room. Maybe a bit of time for that later. Ah, and there's dealer Ian, ready to lend a hand. What a good sport.
Oh, look at that. My favourite subject, a horse. What you've got here is a children's wooden block, jigsaw puzzle. They first came into being in the sort of 1760s when a map maker called Pillsbury came up with the idea of jigsaw puzzles. And look what he started. My word, did he start something? This is a Victorian one. And how it works, look, each block has got a different print on the side. So it's not only one puzzle, it's about 4. So let's put it back and I'll show you, look. Right, so if I lift that up, there's the other pictures, look. So there are other pictures you can make by turning around the block. I like the fact that this is complete, which is nice. Just bothered at the end of the box. It's been in a plumbing attic somewhere for years because it's an old thing. It's a Victorian piece. And it's very, very nice. It's £50, so obviously we'd get a little price ease on it.
Nice thing. Anything else?
Oh, what's this? Ah, let me see. This is a sort of a travelling, you decide you want to go and paint out in the countryside. And so you need to take your palette and your paints. I'm quite amused by the ticket. It says, This was owned by El Greco.
Ah, yes, the 16th century Renaissance master. They've got a sense of humour here.
It's a really nice box. What the company you're looking for when you're buying artist materials is a company called Winsor and Newton. They're very famous for artist materials, and they began in the early Victorian period, 85. If we can shave something off the price, I might be interested in buying that.
I think she's on to a winner already. Anything wetting Mark's palate yet?
Oh, hello. Now this I like. I think this dates from the Victorian or maybe even the Edwardian period. No, I think this is Victorian, I suppose. And it's a much earlier board game called Meteor by F.A.D. Richter of Nuremberg in Germany. The first thing I see is this fantastic cover artwork on here. And one of the things that really catches my eye is this label, which is just in the most wonderful condition. So they're normally scratched and damaged where things have been sort of stacked up and placed upon it or played with it. But this is in great condition. There's really only just a little scuff down here. But that's really quite unusual. These things were played with, they were stacked up. So the label on the top is often completely damaged. So when we open it up, oh yes, this is exactly what I want to see. So we've got, admittedly, it's in loose leaf, but it appears to be the complete instruction booklet, which is in still legible condition. You've got a guide and a frame, and there are these little spheres. So I don't know whether they're made of plaster or wood or something like that, but they're all in different colours, and there are so many of them. I mean, they seem to be complete. And look at these patterns up here with these wonderful Art Nouveau swirls and curves. Now that is interesting. So here we've got this little sort of architectural set of blocks that this young boy is playing with. They're known as anchor blocks, and they were actually developed by Richter from the 1880s onwards. So he's kind of basically using one game to sell another, but also probably saying, you know me for anchor blocks, but look, I also make these games. I just think that is the most wonderful thing. It looks complete to me. Even if the instructions are a little bit damaged, they are still there. It's £50. That is a little gem of a Victorian game.
Now, what about that, Margie Cooper? Is she adding anything to her finds of the jigsaw and paint set yet?
Another room. Right, what we got? We got boxes, pots. Ah, I like this. What's it? £55. It's like a bird feeder. Oh, it's cast iron. Oh, there's a bit of age. Definitely a bit of age. Oh, quite like that, apart from dirtying my hands. How sweet is that? Two little birds. It'll be like 1920s. Just wants a bit of a clean-up, that's all. And how pretty these things are in the garden. And the garden stuff sells well. And it's £55 with two sweet little birds. And, I mean, you can't really damage it, can you? So it's in pretty good condition, apart from the fact that if it needs all that rust blasting off, and then it'll be super. Yeah, I think it's a nice thing. I think that's, they have legs.
Shall we see what Ian has to say?
Right, Ian. Ian, enjoyed looking round. The artist box, really like that. 85. Over to you.
50.
That's very generous, thank you.
That's my absolute best.
And then the puzzle upstairs, I think that was 50.
I can do 42 on that.
That little Edwardian bird bath, I really like it.
I can do a fiver off that for 50.
Done 30 for the three.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Ah, thanks, Ian, very much indeed. Thanks so much.
So that's £50 for the artist's box, £40 for the jigsaw, and £40 for the bird bath.
There you go. There you are, Ian, thank you.
Thank you.
What fun! I wonder if Mark has found anything to complement his board game find.
A cabinet of curiosities. I do love a cabinet of curiosities. So we've got two flowers. I suppose these are sunflowers. And they're salt and pepper shakers, judging by the holes in the top and the little receptacles underneath. What lovely things. So they're probably early 20th century. I'm thinking sort of 1920s, 1930s, something like that. But they've also got a sort of aesthetic movement or a sort of late Victorian movement feel about them. They're marked on the back perfection. I wouldn't go quite that far. And then also 4 letters that make me worry a little bit. EPNS, electroplated nickel silver. And plated wares, silver plated wares can be so very hard to sell, especially at auction. That's a bit of a worry. But they're £42. Do you know what? They've caught something inside me. £42. I think what I'm going to do is leave them there and have a quick chat with Ian and see what we can do, but we've got to do a lot better than £42.
The gauntlet is thrown. Let's see if Ian will budge on it.
Ian, hello.
Hiya.
3 floors of marvels,
Thank you.
2 of which I'd like to talk to you about.
Right.
So first of all, you've got a Victorian boxed game upstairs, so that's £50. What's your best price on that?
The game I could do for 43.
Secondly, I'd spotted 2 salt and pepper shakers,
I could probably do 35 on those.
so that makes 78.
Yep.
Is there any chance we could have a nice round 70?
Yes, go
Yes!
on then. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm really happy with that.
That's
Thank
okay.
you.
Well done. So Mark has just forked out £70 of his £200 budget,
Thank you very much indeed.
snagging the board game for 40 and the flower shakers for 30 smackers. Now, where's that Margie Cooper got to?
Hey, look,
I see.
miniature trifles.
Oh, heck, I'm knackered, and here are you. Tough at the top, isn't it? Oh, gosh. Nearly popped over there.
Oh, it's a hard life, this antique hunting.
Isn't this glorious?
Fabulous.
Tuck in.
Before I do,
Yeah.
question.
What?
Scone or scone? Jam first or cream first?
Definite. I know this is definite. Scone, jam first.
I knew we'd get on.
Do you agree?
I do, completely.
That's a relief. I'm Team Jan too, by the way.
If you put the cream on first, you flatten it all.
I know.
Why does
And I
anybody
kind of
do
want it
that?
all over, you know.
Well, maybe not that part. Right, come on, you two. That's enough lollygagging. The road beckons.
Come on, we better get shopping.
What?
Taking supplies. Come
What?
on, come on, come
Oh,
on.
for crying out loud. Right, I'm taking my very far.
So, after clearing out Bridlington of its treasures, Mark has taken a pit stop further up the coast in Filey, home to 5 miles of beautiful sandy beaches. But the sandcastles will have to wait. Mark's got a few more antiques to get under his belt first, and where better to look than Antiques and Home, with its wall-to-wall cabinets of collectibles. And I can see dealer Sarah there, on standby.
Now, I do love a bit of automobilia, stuff related to cars or bits of car. So we've got badges, we've got mascots. Mascots I love, but they're generally out of my price range. Oh, look, now this is more like what I might be able to afford to buy. So this would have gone on to the centre of a wheel and sort of spun round and created these wonderful reflections as you drove along. And it's got the mark there, and it's a great mark. It's for Jaguar.
Founded in Blackpool in 1922, another proud export of the north of England.
This one hasn't been re-chromed, so it's an original used condition. It would actually just fit right in. And I think that's a bonus. But I like the idea of that as well. If you're a Jaguar owner, or maybe a member of the Jaguar Owners Club, or you've always wanted a Jaguar but can't quite go there, you could use this as a paperweight at home on your desk. I love the clean-lined modern form. And of course, there it is, Jaguar, bang, right there. I think there's probably a little bit of mileage in that.
Oh, priced at £26. Now let's check in with Margie, who's made her way to the historic resort town of Scarborough. No time for topping up that suntan. There's more antiques to find in the Antique and Collectors Centre, a family-run business going back to 1965, and a treasure trove of coins, jewellery and hidden gems. Ah, there's dealer Caroline ready and waiting to lend a hand. Thank you, ma'am.
So isn't that a lovely, lovely display of royal memorabilia? I'm just laughing this scene. The Coronation Aero Bar. And I mean, they're not dear, these things. I mean, there are millions of these things churned out. There's millions of royal memorabilia. The further back it goes, the more expensive they are and the more interesting they are. I'm not going to buy any of it today because it's all quite, unless it's something a bit special or a bit unusual, it doesn't really fetch the money.
Do you know, I think that's a wise choice, Margie. No offence to His Majesty, of course. I wonder if Mark has found anything classy to complement his Jaguar Automobilia.
This is bonkers. I mean, what even is it? Well, it's obviously a picture, and we've got some flowers here, and they're sitting on this textured background which has been sprayed with them perspective, and it's they're made of plastic, and maybe, is that glass in there, or is that more plastic? There's some textured and painted leaves, a little butterfly up here in the top corner. But then again, sometimes unique things can do really well.
Yeah, this looks to be a folk art style collage from the early 20th century. Original artwork can be a bit hit or miss at auction, so if you're buying it, you do take something of a risk.
It is complete, it's nicely framed, the frame's in good nick, there's nothing missing from the moulding. They say go with your heart, and I might just go with my heart, but it's got to be a lot better priced than that.
Well, you've done it once today. Time to see that Mark Hill charm in action again.
Sarah, it is cabinet-tastic in here.
Thank you.
I found two things. This huge picture. It's got 49 on it. I'd like to offer you £20. It's a weird thing.
It is, but the frame's worth more than that.
OK, so what have you got in your head?
I'd like more like 30, which is a good discount.
£30 it is, and thank you very
Yep.
much. The next thing is the wheel spinner from the Jaguar.
Yep.
I would like to offer you £50 for the pair.
Moment of truth.
That sounds like a really good deal. I will do £50 for the pair, Mark.
Star. Thank you very much indeed.
Well, he's only gone and done it.
£50.
We like cash in here, Mark.
Scooping the painting for £30 and the Automobilia for £20.
Thank you. Take
you.
care.
Leaving him with 80 quid to splurge tomorrow. Let's see how the hunt is going for Margie over in Scarborough.
I'm in the danger zone financially, but I like this. Right. So you can imagine a lady in the 1920s or 30s going out in the evening in a beautiful dress on. She'd have a little evening bag. And she would probably have this with a little mirror. Ready? Look, it's a little powder puff. And in the other side, still smells of powder. That's like swan's down, I think. And the other side is where she puts the powder. So she would just be able to just powder her nose. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Uh-oh, clean up in aisle 4.
And there you go. Original powder from the 1920s and 30s. Isn't that gorgeous? It's 925, which is our standard of silver. That engine turning gives you the decade, really, 20s, 30s. Just the sort of thing I love. The only downside is it's £75.
Time to work some magic, I think.
Caroline, have you got a minute? Well, look what I've done.
I'll get you the broom. I'll get you the broom.
So it's £75, Caroline, which is a bit of a chancey buy.
I could do it for 50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not 45. 50, it's got to be 50.
Yeah, sorry.
What's it?
Oh, 45. 45.
For the pregnant pause. It's great, a pregnant pause.
On one condition.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, clean-up costs aside, Margie has scooped herself a 1920s powder puff for 45 quid,
Needs a wet mop, Amy.
leaving her with just £25 in her purse.
Bye, Caroline. Bye.
Better keep your powder dry, Marge. So, after clean-up duties, Mark and Margie are back in the Roadster after a hard day's work. That's dinner time, I think.
So, what I haven't had yet,
What?
Yorkshire pudding.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? The most important thing about Yorkshire pudding is got to put your Yorkshire pudding batter into very hot fat.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I take it out of the oven and put it on the gas thing to get it really, really, really hot. And then in it goes, and then the back of the oven.
Does it make them puff up?
Marvellous.
Now, you both get a good meal down you. You'll need the energy for tomorrow. Nighty-night. Another beautiful day in God's own country. Oh, you getting a bit turned around there, Mark?
One day I'll actually get to turn around my 94-point turn. I've broken the world
Just
record.
failed your driving test.
I've totally failed my driving test. There we go.
You're doing an excellent job, sir.
My seatbelt is a bit tight on this, and I feel a bit thrutched up. Thrutched up. It's a Lancashire phrase. My seatbelt's too tight. I'm thrutched up. It's a word. It's a word.
This is a good northern education you're getting, Mark. Could come in handy.
Yeah, if something's a bit sort of tight, or your jacket's too tight, you go and feel thrutched up.
Yesterday, Mark scooped up 4 items for auction. Some silver shakers, some artwork, some automobilia, and a rather dapper Victorian board game.
I just think that is the most wonderful thing.
Which means he still has £80 to splurge, while Margie snagged 4 finds of her own. A jigsaw puzzle, an artist's paint box, a bird bath, and a lovely lady's powder puff, even if she did make a mess with some 1920s powder. Leaving her with just £25 to play with. Any other northern lessons to help Mark prep for the day?
Tea,
Yeah.
milk first or milk after?
I hate to tell you, don't take
Don't
milk.
say it.
I don't take milk.
Oh, you say, oh,
I
very
don't
posh.
drink. I drink black tea.
You drink black tea?
Yeah, I
Don't you
do.
find it
Anybody who thought of putting milk in tea, I just don't understand it.
abomination?
Yeah.
We'll agree to disagree, shall we? Before continuing on the hunt for more antiques, our intrepid explorers stopped a stroll in Peasel Holm Park in North Bay.
In the dark, once a fire, now no spark. Words we never speak, promises now feel weak. Memories start to fade, love lost in the charade. Once we
Huge. Gosh. And more people over there.
People are flocking from far and wide to get battle ready for an explosive event that goes back generations here in Scarborough.
Proper steam, smoke.
It is proper smoke. They're actually quite cool, aren't they?
That looks like the Queen Elizabeth cruise ship.
It does a bit.
Hey, I wouldn't buy a ticket on that cruise, Margie. These 20-foot replica ships are preparing for a recreation of the Battle of the River Plate, Britain's first naval victory of World War II, which took place in the South Atlantic in 1939.
Ah, Trevor.
And few know the event better than our Trevor.
So what is the battle that you're reenacting today?
The Battle of the River Plate. 3 of our destroyers took on the Graf Spee off the coast of Uruguay.
The Graf Spee was one of the most feared German battleships of the early war, terrorising merchant shipping lanes across the Atlantic in 1939. These shipping lanes were vital for Britain's chances in the fight ahead, and the Graf Spee was strangling supply lines. So, in December of that year, a squadron of smaller British Navy ships hunted down the Graf Spee around the estuary of the River Plate in South America, engaging her in a sea battle to help ensure the safety of the Atlantic shipping lanes, resulting in victory for the Royal Navy and the scuttling of the Graf Spee.
So the battle that's being reenacted today, how accurate is it?
It's a lot of poetic licence in it.
Yeah.
The 3 battleships what we've got are the actual 3 named in the Battle of the River Plate, Ajax,
Yeah.
Achilles and Exeter.
This naval battle recreation takes place 3 times a week here and is one of the oldest simulated battle events in the world and a celebration of Scarborough's seagoing heritage.
One of the main things we've got to do is 3 boats get towed on cables,
Right.
and we've to get the cables stretched out across the lake before 10 o'clock when the boats open.
It's very technical, isn't it?
You can say that again. Only the most skilled operators are ever allowed near these fine vessels.
And then you need to shuffle down.
Okay.
Then you'll feel there's 2 pedals.
Right.
I'll get in and steady it for you.
Is it deep? It's not that deep, is it? Here I go.
Richard Dove, one of the organisers, has been kind enough to let Mark take the helm ahead of today's battle.
Chill, I feel quite commandery here. Do I get a little hat?
Unfortunately not, no.
Are you regretting this yet, Richard? Don't worry, Mark. You look perfectly dapper, just the way you are.
Scarborough has a port, harbour, surely.
It does, yeah. If you
There you go.
the North Sea,
Yeah.
if you go straight across, you'll end up in Denmark. If you go a bit south, you'll end up sort of like head towards France.
OK. So which country should I invade then?
You have disabled the guns on this thing, haven't you? Just checking. So, which battleship is our own fine captain commandeering today?
You are in the Ajax.
Ah, dispatch war rocket Ajax. Oh, I think I've broken it. Oh,
No, you're aware.
I'm off. See you later. This is fantastic.
Batten down the hatches, lads. Admiral Hill is at the helm, ready to take command of His Majesty's Navy.
Where's my, it's like, James Bond. I need my buttons to launch my missiles. Fire some of these guns.
Nobody show him where that button is.
That was excellent. You have definitely passed the audition.
Fantastic.
I think you've got natural ability.
I rather agree.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
That's so cool. Thank you.
You've done the British Navy proud, Mark. But I think it's time to let the experts take the stage, don't you?
It's amazing to think that there's actually someone inside that.
I love that one.
That's fabulous. That's
I
my
wouldn't
type.
mind a trip round the Caribbean in that.
You might want something bigger. A little bit bigger, maybe?
Oh, here the serious.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the serious
They've-
stuff.
Bangy things on them. Do you think there's going to be loud bangs? And, oh, my goodness me. Oh, those lights are so good.
Kids love it.
I got
You get-
Oh! Oh, it's moving in.
firing.
Not sure Mark's heart can take this.
That's why there was a moment of silence. The torpedoes were.
All right.
Oh, God. Okay. Oh, dear, that was a big leap. Oh, my goodness, wow.
Won't find that.
These in trouble. They're in trouble.
Oh, he's taking a hit.
He has taken a big hit.
Right, you two, with the Grash Bay sunk and the British Navy victorious, it's time to get back on the road. For our final stop of the day, our antique inspectors have finally arrived in Pickering, a quaint little market town and gateway to the North York moors.
What a beautiful town.
Isn't it lovely?
It's gorgeous here.
We're here.
We're here. Go on, we'll race.
Me first.
Oh, okay, then fine, go for it. Ladies first, why not?
They'll be hunting for some sizzling steals in Pickering Antiques, crammed with 2 floors of antique treasures. And look, there's dealer Mark, being a gent, on standby.
Ah, hunting horn. We tend to connect these with being made of brass, don't we? But the oldest and simplest horns were made of horn. And really, all they are, really, is to give a signal.
All right, then, give us a tune. We're all waiting.
And you know what? I'm not going to blow it, because it's going to ruin my lipstick.
Oh, come on. Someone needs to give it a quality check.
What you found?
Well, I don't want to ruin my lipstick. So I just thought,
Oh, right, okay.
Would you
I've
oblige?
got to. Have I got enough puff, is what you're asking?
don't stop till you're the colour of my jacket.
Ah, it's like Johann Sebastian Bach reborn.
Just one note. I would have liked a couple of notes, different notes. Go on. Oh, marvellous. Thank you very much. That was absolutely
Just.
calling a day.
I think so. That's quite better at buying antiques than blowing our horn.
Well, after that brief musical interlude, what's the price?
It was down to £55, but I really don't think there's a market for these.
Can't afford it anyway. Mark has a bit more leeway. Found anything to splurge your 80 quid on?
Rummage, rummage, rummage. Boxes of things, trays of things, and a pen, which is much more me. Now, I've always done really well with fountain pens, and it's how I started in the business, working for an auction house. I sold literally tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pens over the years. I can't resist picking them up. So what have we got here? So it says Swan on the top, so it was made by Maybe Todd, who were a company founded in America in the late 19th century. This pen is much, much later. So the flat tops indicate that it was made, I would have thought, probably late 1920s, about 1930. So one thing I look for is a brand, and we have a really good brand here with Swan. The next thing is a little bit of colour. You know, we're talking the 1920s, the 1930s, the jazz age. But that's an interesting thing. It just needs a bit of oomph. It needs something else to add to it.
Oh, we know how you love your oomph. Margie could use a bit of that right now. Any bargains over there?
That's a big one, isn't it? Now, I bet you don't know what this is. I know what this is.
All right, share with the class then.
So it's not a spoon for the big friendly giant. It's a grab spoon used in the Navy when they'd finished their tour of duty. They'd get a great big bowl, container full of, well, grog is, will it be rum-based? And they'd all have a jolly good time. End of tour. And this one is £75. Not a buy, because I haven't got enough money. But you can just imagine this, can't you? A lovely naval tradition.
You'll need to think a bit smaller on your budget, I think. Speaking of small things, is Mark still rummaging for some oomph over there?
There's another little pencil here. Plated, worn, pretty boring, to be honest. Well, that's not too much of a stretch. We've got a plain silver calling card holder with hallmarks for Birmingham 1913.
Oh, good spot. Birmingham silver is always identified by a small anchor hallmark. So if you see an anchor, you know it's from the Birmingham Assay Office.
Well, they're kind of gents' accessories, sort of very personal things, aren't they? It's not unfeasible that they could go together. So I've got 70 and £25, 95 whole pounds. I need a deal.
Tale as old as time. Let's see if Mark is willing, shall we?
Mark, hello.
Good morning.
So I found two things. First of all, I found this pen,
Yes.
and you've got 70 on it. And then I found this plain silver card-carrying case
Yes.
in silver, and that's got £25. What can you do for me?
I know we can do 20 on the card case.
Thank you.
We'll go 50, £70 all in.
How about 60?
I'll go 65.
We have a deal, sir. Thank you very much indeed. That's fantastic. I'm delighted. 60.
So Mark is ready to do serious business with his lovely pen and card holder, which he's planning to sell as one lot, meaning he spent 185 smackers of his £200 budget. Very smooth. Now, how's Margie's hunt for a bargain going?
There's a sweet little lady's fob watch here. It's Victorian, but about 1880s. Nicely engraved. Has somebody's initials on it. Let me just see what it has. Yes, it has. MB owned this. Whoever she is.
The big question, how much?
It's 45. But it's not easy to come into an antique shop with £25, is it?
You'll need to work some magic here.
Have you got a minute, Mark?
Hello.
Right. You know my financial situation. It's dire.
That's an understatement.
And I've seen this pretty little lady's fob watch.
Beautiful.
There are a lot about. I rate that at auction about 30, 35. I've got £25. Is it beyond the bounds of possibility that I could buy it?
Because of your dire situation, yes, Margie, you can have it for £25.
Mark, thank you so much.
Absolute
That's
pleasure.
really kind of you.
All the best.
Thanks. That's it.
Thank you very much.
I'm done.
All 25.
Thanks.
There's no task too tall for our Margie.
Bye, Mark.
Bye-bye.
She's cleared out the rest of her £200 budget with that last purchase. And that brings our North Yorkshire hunt to a close.
Is it best to be a good generalist, or would you think it's the best thing to do is where you've only concentrated on one area of the business?
Know a little bit about everything.
Yeah.
But then again, a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing.
Why?
Well, you can think something's rare or, you know, make a mistake. I don't believe you ever make mistakes, but still.
Well, I suppose we'll find out tomorrow. Nighty-night. Rise and shine, it's time for the big event. It's auction day.
Here we go.
Here we go, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. You've got one up, one down.
So after taking in the sights of North Yorkshire's coast, we've taken a quick detour to Bolton Auction Rooms. Bidders are eagerly poised in the room online, and bids have been left with auctioneer Harry Howcroft.
£240.
Mark has 5 lots ready to sell after spending £185 of his budget. Anything catching your eye, Harry?
The German Charles board game, very authentic, all the bits and bats with it, quite a rare item, and I do expect we should do okay with that in auction.
Margie, on the other hand, has completely cleaned out her budget across 5 objects. Any hidden gems in there?
The 1920s powder puff, silver engine turned. It's a very nice item in good condition, and I do expect it to do okay in auction.
Well, without further ado, time to get these hidden treasures under the hammer.
Excited?
Always excited.
Let's see if you can shake that moneymaker, Mark. It's your salt and pepper shakers up first.
Art Deco.
Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper.
You could actually pin one on you.
I could turn them into pins.
You could.
Season my own food in a restaurant.
Well, I've got 20 online. I've got 22. 22 with me. 24, 26. £28 bid. £30 bid. 5 bid. 35 bid with me. I'll take 40. Pretty rare. £40 bid. £40. Thank you.
Not bad.
A little profit seasoning to get us started. Nice work.
That's okay.
Yeah.
£10. £10 profit.
Shall we find out if jigsaws are still in fashion with the bidders?
They're all there, and it's a really nice thing, but the side of the box was a bit ripped.
We've got £40 bid at £40 bid, I'll take 5. Oh, £40 bid, I'll take 5 anywhere. 5 in the else. With me then at £40. Last call then, £40. Thank you.
Hey.
Didn't quite come together there.
You didn't lose anything.
No, I didn't.
And it was very charming.
It was.
Maybe the automobilia will get them more excited. Rawr.
It's a paperweight.
Yeah.
If you like Jaguar cars.
Yeah.
Or if you own a Jaguar car.
Yes.
It's part of your car because it fits on the wheel.
I've got 16 bid. 16 bid. 18 I'll take. At 18 no. 18 bid. £20 bid. 2 bid. 2 bid. Last call then at 22. Thank you.
It's okay.
It's a profit.
It is.
We've hit the gas now. Fear not, Margie. It's time to see if a modern-day Monet is in the room.
I like the case, actually.
It's nice.
£10 bid. 10 on the bid. 10, 12 bid in the room. 14, 16 bid in the room. 18, 20 in the room. 22, 24 in the room. 26, 28 in the room. £30 bid, 5. £30 bid, I'll take 5. The gavel's up then at £30. Thank you.
I've been robbed.
Could have used a few more bidders on that one. Different strokes and all that.
Shan't buy any more of those.
Come on, you art lovers, wake up! We've got a masterpiece up next.
I saw this thing and I thought, that is absolutely hideous. And then I thought, I love it.
Well, I've got 28. I've got £28 on the bid. It's a 30 anywhere. We all done and finished then. It's a maiden bid with me then at £28.
Oh, well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well.
Well, someone certainly got a good deal there.
Did you like it?
I did. I'd like to have held it and seen it properly.
Before tossing it into the news.
Like water off a duck's back, Mark. Speaking of which, it's time for Margie's little birdie path.
I mean, it can be popular. You might be surprised.
No, don't be silly. Don't raise my hope.
What have we got? £30 bid online at £30 bid. 35 in the room. 45. £40 bid. £40 for the last time at £40.
Well, at least it's not in the red.
It'll be gracing their patio tonight.
It will.
I wouldn't write this charming man off yet. It's time for your card holder and pen, Mark.
Now, I've done really well in the past.
With pens.
With pens on road trips.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Where do you want to be? £35 bid, £40 bid, 45 bid. I've got £50 bid, 5 in the else. At £50. Thank you.
and there we are.
Bids ran a bit dry on that one.
That's a little bit disappointing.
I feel a bit
Flat.
OK, bidders, don't go powder your noses just yet. Margie's back up.
You know when you like something?
I do, yes. Your
I
heart.
like this.
Well, I've got 35. I've got £40 bid. £40 bid. 45 bid. 45. 50 bid. 5 bid. 60 is it? £55 bid. £60 bid. A lost call then. The gover's up then. 70 bid just in time. 75 bid now. A lost call then. The gover's up then at 75. Thank you.
Bravo. Bravo.
Nice profit.
But it's good, it's good, it's good.
I loved it. I loved it.
Next up is Mark's Victorian board game.
It's in super condition and the label is brilliant.
Victorian children's game.
I've got bids with me and I can start the bidding at £45 bid with me. 50 is it? £50 bid will take 5. £50 bid will take 5 anywhere. 55 bid now. 60 bid now. £60 bid. 65 bid now. 70 bid online. We're all done at £70 for the last time. Gover's up then at £70.
It's a really rare thing.
Well done.
Yahtzee! Sorry, wrong game. But still, well done.
Thank you.
That's good, isn't it?
That's okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
This auction is on a knife edge, but with just one lot left to sell, Margie's £25 scoop of the ladies' fob watch.
I don't know much about watches, but it looked very sweet. It's a little Swiss one.
Any enamelling?
Little Swiss note. It's clean.
I've got bids at £35 bid online, £35 bid, 45 bid online, 45, £55 bid, 55 bid, 60 I'll take. We all done a finish online then, £55. Thank you.
Yeah.
What a lovely surprise.
Well, that came just in time. Well done.
I'm shocked.
It's good news.
Yeah.
Well, well, well. After showroom fees, Mark has ended up with a loss, finishing with £187.20. Bad luck. Margie, on the other hand, spent her entire budget and ended up with a smaller loss of £196.80. So that means it's 2-0 to Margie with 3 legs still to go. You've got a lot of work to do, Mark.
Honestly, don't know how that happened.
I do. It's because you're brilliant.
No,
it's because you're brilliant.
honestly,
Well done, you.
I think they've added it wrong.
Next time, Margie receives some fashion advice,
Who's buying these?
The youngsters.
Come on.
while Mark becomes a twisted fire starter.
Oh, look, I nearly had it then.
We make a morbid discovery
When people die, they would have their hair put into a brooch.
before running into a spot of car trouble.